Street Switch Photography. We've got a new one here on ID cards. Yes, that's right, ID cards. I thought it'd be something a little bit different today because I haven't done anything on ID cards yet, so let's do this.
Street Switch Photography.
And welcome back to Street Switch Photography. Yes, the government, Labour, trying to introduce ID cards to Great Britain and saying that it's going to help with so many things like passports and like basically if you're ever asked for ID and everything else. Well, I've got a couple of videos to show you exactly what it is all about. Now, some of these ID cards and some of the ideas behind them are a little... one second, I've just got to turn this off. They're a little secretive about it. Now, Tony Blair, I believe, tried to introduce ID cards, and I know that Churchill introduced ID cards as well, and it didn't exactly go down too well with everybody because they got fed up with being asked for their ID cards and being basically treated as a totalitarian state. So let's go and have a look at some of these videos and see what it is they actually say about them, because I find it quite interesting. Now, there might be an advert at the beginning of this. Let me just make that a little smaller so everybody can see it. Error. 1 second.
This is an authentic ID card from World War II. Every British person had to carry one and produce it on demand to police officers and soldiers. But this mandatory ID scheme didn't last long. People got sick of the authoritarian nature of producing papers, and they protested against them, ripping them up, setting fire to them, and eventually, Churchill's government scrapped them in 1952. Then, Tony Blair tried to bring them back.
We think it is legitimate and right.
So yeah, I was right. It was Tony Blair that tried to bring them back, but it was unsuccessful, as far as I know. Now, they're trying to introduce these ID cards again, and the reason they're using is basically immigration and things like that, and people are trying to basically say all the positives about it and everything else, but we're not hearing very many negatives, and that isn't because there aren't any negatives. The reason this is called Big Brother is Spying on You is for a reason. Let's carry on listening to what the video actually says.
In this day and age, to ask people to carry identity cards.
But he failed.
Within 100 days, we believe we can scrap the ID cards.
Now we face an even bigger threat. 1 year ago, the government told us that we would never get a digital ID system. It wasn't even in the Labour Party manifesto. But Keir Starmer recently told his cabinet and the media that he is...
Keir Starmer's said quite a lot that he didn't say he was going to do, hasn't he? He's basically told lie after lie after lie. Has Mr. Starmer, Mr. Stasi Starmer,
considering plans for a mandatory digital ID scheme after influential Labour think tanks, including the Tony Blair Institute, piled on the pressure.
Digital ID will make our interactions with each other and with the state faster, cheaper, and more reliable.
But I think...
Yes, it probably will, but it'll also make it extremely easy for the government to look at all your finances, all your medical records. They will be building information holding places, so basically great big servers that stores everybody's information, and we can really trust the government with our information when they've left it on a train, on a seat, or in the back of a taxi. Top secret, government paperwork and laptops and hard drives and things like this. Can we actually trust these people with our information? No, we can not. Do not let them give us these ID cards. You've got to fight against this 100%, or that's it. We're done.
20 years or so on, a couple of decades on, people are looking differently about the idea of digital then cards, probably more digital ID now.
And last week, the new Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, confirmed her support for digital ID.
My long-term personal political view...
Of course she did. Probably the worst person that could have replaced the last one. And he goes and gives the job to her.
has always been in favour of ID cards.
No one voted for digital ID, and the government has no clear mandate to implement one. Yet now we're on the brink of having every adult in the UK forced into a digital ID scheme.
Yeah, forced. They can't force you. As soon as you receive it through the post, cut it in half and put it in the bin. That's what I'm doing with mine. I'm telling you now, I will not have one. But what they'll do is, because you haven't got an ID card, you won't be able to do certain things and everything else. Well, if nobody has one, then nobody will do anything, will they? And then that'll bring the whole, sort of country to a standstill.
Inserting the
This needs
state
to happen.
into our everyday lives. A digital ID is much different to a physical ID. They facilitate the collection of vast quantities of personal information into population-wide databases, which can be amalgamated.
There you go, that's what I was on about, databases. Now, database leaks are a very regular occurrence, especially under the Labour and Conservative government. We do not need these digital IDs, for God's sake. Fight against it whilst you've got chance. Go online and see if there's any petitions going or anything like that. We beat it with Tony Blair. We can beat it with Keir Starmer, Stasi Starmer. We'll turn into China or North Korea or Russia. And it's not a good thing.
Searched and analysed to monitor, track and profile us all. So, what does the public think?
Sounds pretty Orwellian to me, so I think keep it away.
There's so many things that they are trying to make us scared of. You know, it's control under the guise of safety, and I'm not quite
The nanny state.
sure I agree with that. I don't know if I want my child's
Big Brother is watching you.
information on a piece of card where somebody else can get hold.
We will control every single aspect of your life, right down to your finances, to where you go, to what you buy, to who you talk to what credit rating you've got, you name it. That's what they'll do. Now, some people say they can already do this via mobile phone and mobile devices. This just makes it so much easier for them to do this crackdown. Look at what's happening with the internet. They are actually censoring the internet a lot with these new laws that they've put in place. Labour have now got a massive history of weaponising everything they get their hands on, and we are letting them do it. Let's not let them do it anymore. I'm sick of it.
I think it's wrong in as much as we get these people coming over on boats who have no ID and they're getting put up with no information whatsoever.
So does that mean we should all have one?
No, because like I say, we've already got ours. We've got all my national insurance numbers and all that lot, you know what I mean?
That's the point. We've got national insurance numbers, we've got passports, we've got driving licences, we've got all these other types of ID. Why the fuck do we need an ID card? We do not need it. They're trying to say that it will make it easier for immigration. This is their ploy to bring it in, because this way they won't have to stop immigration either. It's an all-round thing that they're trying to employ with this global thing that they're trying to do. It's disgusting, and we're going to let them do it. I'm so worried about it, I'm telling you now, because I don't think people realise exactly what it is that's happening, because not everybody has woken up yet. I've got another video and another live to do after this one, which will be even more interesting than this particular video, but I might do it all in one feed, we'll see.
This is not accessible to many people. I guess the homeless community would struggle more with digital ID.
Do you think the government would do a good job of keeping the data secure and safe? No?
Straight away, no.
No, not at all.
Breaking news, because it has been revealed that the personal details of UK special forces and spies.
Special forces and spies. So special forces, the SAS, and spies that we use. Oh my God, and they leaked this data, and they want us to trust them with our data. They want us to basically give them our data. What the actual fuck? I'm sorry for swearing, but I can't believe that this is what they're trying to do, and they're trying to disguise it as a positive thing. They're trying to disguise it as a positive thing, and it makes my skin crawl, just the thought of it.
Were included in the huge data leak.
Secret agents from the GCHQ department tasked with stopping ransomware attacks say they're dealing with at least one incident every day.
At the time of the hack, the information that they held was the names and addresses of all of those who registered to vote between the years of 2014 and 2022, including those not on the public register.
They haven't been doing a very good job for the first time round, so they're going to start them doing it now. So, you know, it's just another form of sort of control, basically.
Idea would be every adult needs.
This is the thing. That's all this government wants to do. The socialist government. That's all they want to do is control us. And that's what's so worrying. God, I really do hope we end up with a different government other than flaming Conservative or Labour this time round. It's ultra ultra worrying, ultra scary. This all links to immigration. This all links to far left ideology. It believe me, it does.
To present a digital ID card on their phone or a computer to show who they are when they get a job or try to migrate, that sort of thing.
I feel like
There
it's
you go,
slippery slope.
migration. That's why I said it's linked. They're trying to say that it's going to make migration easier and easier to get rid of these people on the boats and all that. It's a big ploy. It's bullshit. Name one thing that Keir Starmer has said that's actually been true. First off, he pinched everybody's winter fuel allowance. Second off, he started flaming charging pensioners extra for this, that and the other, and he started taking money off people left, right and centre. He has not stuck to one single thing in his fucking manifesto. Not one. Not one thing. And everybody moans at Donald Trump because he does what he's going to say, what he says he does. Everything he has said, he has done. It beggars belief. It really does beggars belief. It's stupid.
Okay.
I think that's my guess. I mean, I would have to look into the specifics of it, but I feel like it could be, the end might not be what's intended.
We've released a groundbreaking report that takes a deep dive into digital ID. Checkpoint Britain, the dangers of digital ID and why privacy must be protected. At their worst, digital ID systems can enable population-wide surveillance, curb civil liberties, predict and shape people.
ULEZ. There's another one. And I think Sadiq Khan would probably put his hand up and have as many of these IDs as he could have actually get his hands on to give people. In an instant, if he can control everything, they've taken over the country. They've done it. With a single thing, the digital ID. You've got to fight this while you still can. Don't let them do it.
Decisions or be abused for the tracking and targeting of marginalised groups. Independent polling commissioned by us through YouGov reveals a clear majority of the British public, 63%, do not trust the government to protect the vast amounts of personal information collected in digital ID schemes. And there was little evidence to prove that a digital ID system would deter illegal immigration or employment.
So why exactly do you think they want to bring in the digital ID after seeing those statistics? Why exactly would they want to do that? Now, some people turn around and say, well, I don't mind having a digital ID and I don't mind being, all this surveillance because I've got nothing to hide. And then they complain about a street photographer on the street taking photos of them and stuff like that, yet they walk into Boots or they walk into Argos and then go home with the phone and wonder why they've got Boots and Argos adverts on their phone. I go into town, the first thing I do is turn off my Wi-Fi. That is the first thing I do. If I do turn my Wi-Fi on, I use a VPN. Now, don't worry, there's no VPN advert here. So, I'm not sponsored, but, I'm always open for suggestions.
Fraud. It would instead burden law-abiding citizens and businesses. We need to make sure that we're on the front foot, building up the biggest campaign possible ahead of any government announcement on digital ID.
Yes.
But we are only as strong as the support we receive. Before Christmas, we're ramping up our campaign efforts with planned actions. And we set a goal to reach 2,000 Big Brother Watch supporters. We've also set up a...
You see, that's going to be a good thing. I'm just going to go back one step because this is on the Big Brother YouTube page. So I'm going to watch this one down here and see what this one says.
The body scanner reveals the brutal truth about your body that your regular scale will never tell you.
I mean, this is extremely worrying.
Britcoin, digital pound, central bank digital currency, Spycoin. Everyone's talking about how we can make our currency digital, but no one has actually made the case for why a CBDC is
needed.
Now,
what I said earlier on about banking and stuff like that, they'll use this digital ID for banking and all this sort of stuff, which they'd know all your banking information. They'd know everything, how much you're drawing, how much you've got going in. What fucking right do they think they have to dive into people's personal lives like that? It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
What's it for? It's to keep track with the reality of how we'll purchase and save and do our work with our goods.
Stupid old.
And
CBDCs have the potential to reverse our relationship with the state and each other by inserting the government into every transaction we make, raising significant concerns about surveillance and financial control. Here are 5 concerns we have about a UK...
I mean, for God's sake, you walk into a big supermarket now and you go and use the self-checkout. It uses digital face recognition and it takes a photo of you. They use it in Morrison's in Melton. It's been seen. So they've got your face digitally analysed via AI. They park vans in large towns and cities taking photos of people. They say they delete the information after. Bullshit. Do they hellers like delete it? Do you seriously think they delete that? There's recently been a leak of information saying something along the lines of 1 million people's email addresses, 1 million people's passwords and shit like this has been leaked. It was a few weeks ago. And they want us to trust them with our private information. I get a feeling this isn't going to go down well.
Okay, CBDC. Number 5, digital ID and discrimination. CBDCs are particularly concerning when the government is considering the universal and mandatory digital ID for every adult in the UK.
Universal, there's one word. The second word is even more worrying. Mandatory. Nothing can force you to have this digital ID. If everybody turned around and said, no, we are not having this digital ID, got a pair of scissors, cut it in half and put it in the bin like you would do with an old credit card. Bin it, get rid of it, don't want it, do whatever you have to do to get rid of it. Burn it, I don't know. But if everybody did that, what are they going to do? Are they going to put everybody in prison? They haven't even got enough room in prisons to put a flaming multiple paedophile away, but they've got enough to put somebody in there that's wrote something on Facebook. The same with council taxes. If everybody stopped paying the council tax, this would be over for the left. It'd be over. That's just another illegal tax at the end of the day.
At a time when the government is seeking more ways to capture personal information about our lives, calls for a CBDC are especially concerning, especially for those who are digitally excluded. Number 4, programmable money. The potential to program the public's personal finances or welfare payments could lead to financial control, an invasion of privacy, potentially a breach of the right to protection of property, and depending on the limitation set, could pose a serious threat to a range of other fundamental rights, from freedom of expression to freedom of assembly, and
control. Real control.
From discrimination. Number 3, privacy intrusion. Generalized surveillance of CBDC transactions would be inevitable given the context of the current legal landscape, particularly counter-terror law, anti-money laundering law, and investigatory powers law.
Shout out to Jim Smith. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people realise exactly what it is that's happening, mate. People are actually just thinking, well, I've got nothing to hide. I'll have this digital ID and that will be it. I can just go around and do whatever. They will control your credit rating. They will know what goes in your bank, what comes out your bank, where you've been, what you've bought, who you spoke to. They'll have your digital facial recognition when you go into shops and stuff. It scans you. They'll control everything about you. They're a communist government. They do the same in China. They want to do the same in China. They want to control every aspect of everybody's life. Well, if they've got full control, they've won. This could be their one ticket and the only way they could win. And if people fall for it, done. That's my opinion. Don't take that for gospel, but that is my opinion. Banking, yeah.
Every CBDC transaction could be recorded, and anyone with access to the core ledger, be it a public authority or a hacker, could potentially see these transactions. The government has committed to introducing
And I think the most worrying thing for me personally is they'd have these data storage centres, and you know, anybody can hack one of those if they know how to use something along the lines of Linux Backtrack or something like that, which is an operating system which is used for penetration testing computer systems and servers and things like that. And I mean, for God's sake, these government people, these MPs leave stupid things, suitcases full of top secret information on buses and trains and aeroplanes and shit like that, and they want us to trust them with our information. There's breaches of information all the time, and this is what I'm trying to get across in this video. This is why people should push back against this as much as possible, but in a totally legal way, I must say that.
Legislation to guarantee user privacy. However, there's no detail on what these protections are, so we don't know how good they'll be. Number 2, security risks.
Well,
a centralized CBDC.
They already want to look into people's finances to find out what's coming in and out people's bank accounts, because then they know it's taxed, don't they?
CBDC system could create a huge platform for population data and as such become a critical piece of national infrastructure. This would provide hostile state and non-state actors.
And I'll tell you something else, Jim. Shout out to Jim Smith. I'll tell you something else as well. The ploy they're trying to actually use these ID cards is for immigration purposes. They will turn around, for example, and say, well, what will happen is we'll give everybody these digital IDs because most of these fuckers that have come over on the boats haven't got a passport. At least they'll have ID then and we'll know where they are and what they're doing and all the rest of it. But everybody else has got to have one as well. When all they would really, let's be honest, have to do is leave the ECHR and send the fuckers back on a plane. Done. Trump's done it, Germany's done it, Italy's done it. Why can't we do it? Because they want these digital IDs, that's why. And like I say, I do a lot of research into this. I don't waste my evenings. I sit here and I actually look on the internet at certain statistics. I sit and watch certain videos about what other people have been saying about it. I try and get different opinions, if you want to put it like that. I'm totally against this. Now, I'm a street photographer and I can understand people's privacy. If you're walking down the street, I think you're caught on camera up to 50 to 60 times a day just walking past Ring doorbells. Just walking, into a shop, you're on CCTV. If you're outside, you're on the cameras round town. Dash cams, Ring doorbells, all sorts of people with the cameras and everything. And somebody worries about little old me with a DSLR taking a photo of them walking down the street away from me towards a shop that was something called accidental inclusion. And people are worried about that. Where am I going to fucking leak that information? Seriously. This is the fucking demented talking. This is the far left talking. They say the far right are violent. They say the far right are dangerous. Well, guess what? There's been way more, like I said yesterday in yesterday's video, there's been way more assassination attempts from the far left than there ever have been from the far right. Recent one, something called ICE, which is an immigration thing in America. 2 people have died.
With a large and tempting cybersecurity target. Combining digital identity and CBDC poses a serious risk of security breaches and identity theft, and a successful breach could put the entire public at risk. Number 1, exploitation. CBDC providers could use personal data to develop marketing activities and tailor products and services. Exploiting personal data this way would endorse mass surveillance and exploitation of the public's sensitive personal data, further shrinking the private sphere in a growing digital panopticon. We are concerned by the growing risk to privacy posed by the rise of CBDCs, which have the potential to enable an unprecedented level of financial surveillance. In our new report, Big Bankers Watching You, Preserving Privacy Amid the Rise of CBDCs, we examined the concerns associated with CBDCs.
Now, this makes me wonder, are BlackRock involved? Now, BlackRock are an organisation that basically profit from war and terror and things like this. There's been a lot of documentaries done on them and all this sort of stuff. I'll look into that, and that might be a future video if anybody wants to see it. If you want to see that, give me a comment and I'll see what I can do.
And consider whether they could be designed in a way that both protects privacy and promotes economic stability. You can read it by heading to the description below. The number 1 way you can help us fight back against intrusive financial surveillance is by becoming a monthly Big Brother Watch supporter. With the donations from our supporters, we are able to print and write more reports, present our findings to the media and politicians, and campaign for a free future. If you like this...
So, yeah, as you can see from that, they want to control the aspect of everybody's life. Your freedom hangs on this case. So let's watch this video here.
Hey, stop playing with your fanny pack.
That looked odd.
You need the bearskin tactical hoodie for...
Some of you may remember that I'm bringing a groundbreaking legal challenge to try to stop the mass rollout of live facial recognition surveillance in our country. But the court behind me has just ordered that if we...
Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. They turn around and basically say to people, OK, the reason we're using this live facial recognition is to catch criminals. What does the criminals have to do? Put a mask on. That's it. That's it. That's all they have to do. And what do they do about these female Muslims that wear masks? Are they going to arrest them if any of them are criminals? Are they going to go and tell them to take the mask off in public? No. Do you know why? Because it's for white British people. There you go. Straight on the fucking button. Straight on the button. Right there.
Lose, we could have to pay £70,000 to the Metropolitan Police. However, we can't back down.
And they tell you to delete the data. Do you believe that? I mean, come on. Do you believe that? Do you believe they will actually delete all the faces that they've taken photos of that day? Millions of photos come out of this every single week.
Because if we do, there is nothing stopping
And
the
they wonder
state
why
from
the
putting
police
live
haven't got the
facial
fucking trust
recognition
of the
cameras
public.
all over our towns and cities. That'd be like digital watchmen constantly watching you and checking your identity. The Orwellian nightmare will become the British reality. We'll all be less free unless we win this fight. You cannot put a price on...
To put it bluntly, and I don't want to put it like this, but it's the only way I can see it sort of making any sense to anybody. We are having our freedom taken away from us right before our eyes. We're having our children's freedom, our women's freedom taken away from us right before our eyes, in favour of whatever it is that this government want, whatever their agenda is. Now, some people say it's a conspiracy theory, the Great Replacement, after there was footage of Labour and Conservatives bringing in Afghans by the plane load. By the plane load. Is it such a conspiracy theory with all these people at 1,000 a day coming over on boats? Is it such a conspiracy theory that they're getting free hotels? Is it such a conspiracy theory that 95% of them are men? Is it such a conspiracy theory that most of them haven't got passports? Is it such a conspiracy theory to think that some of these men might be criminals, might have rape cases, might have murder cases, might be here for an ulterior motive? And as soon as we turn around and say anything about it or question it, we get called far right, we get called fascist, we get called racist, we get called paedophiles. Yes, straight out of a Labour councillor's mouth. And now they want us to trust them with our ID. They want us to bend over and take this straight up the bottom, going in dry with a 6 foot 2 pound black rib nobbler.
freedom. But the only way that I can continue this legal fight is to raise £70,000, and I really need your help. Can you donate any amount, large or small, to defend our freedom and say no to mass facial recognition cameras? You can find a link to a crowdfund I've set up in the description of this video. If everyone watching this donated just £4, price of a coffee...
To me, it's like something out of a really bad sci-fi horror film. That's how I feel about it. I think it's not just outdated, but it's like sort of this really bad sort of horror Wi-Fi film that you watch where everybody is controlled. And I'm trying to remember the name of a certain film. Was it Equilibrium? Where everybody takes a tablet and become emotionless, and the state control every single part of everybody's life. I don't want this, and I don't think other people want it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of these questions or some of these live chats here. Somebody said they haven't got a phone. They wish the government had buy them one. They've got enough money, but I don't know with the £22 million black hole that they seem to have got. May have Boots app. This was John Smith basically saying, I can't believe this. It's unbelievable. No, seriously, I'm not happy about this. I'm fuming. I'm sorry if it's upset you. I didn't mean to, you know. Banking, yes, they're going to be doing it on banking. Somebody written under that. Facts. Surely they won't be able to work, to look into our finances. Yes, they will. Yeah, that's exactly what they want to do. This all connects to the credit rating that was brought out in the mid-90s. They started using a credit rating system. This is why we have Experian and things like that, because then you have to enter your details on Experian and they can get your details anyway. Anyway, we've got this one here. I'm autistic. I don't like change. This is Moonchild. I'm autistic as well. I've got ASD, what used to be called Asperger's syndrome. Was diagnosed 5 years ago. I also have ADHD. And I don't know whether that makes me capable of seeing things that other people can't seem to see. I'm not sure. But it blows my mind that people just can't see the logic behind it. I have to look at everything logically. If a good example would be, if I get up in the morning, I've got my whole day laid out. I have it laid out from when I get up to go and get a cup of coffee, to go and brush my teeth, go, you know, right up until I go to bed at night. And if something changes during that day, if something happens, good example today, I was trying to fix my bike and I can't go out. And I'm used to be going, I don't like buses. I'm going on a tangent now, I apologise. But That's how it affects your everyday life. How do they think this is going to affect someone like us? I didn't think of it like that, and that is a bloody good point, and that's just clicked in there. Thank you for that, Moonchild 1133. We just have V-Bucks, yeah. BlackRock also buy homes overseas, yeah, and I'm not sure if BlackRock have actually got anything to do with Serco. That's something else I've got to actually look into. Because of Serco actually buying up homes with all these new developments being built, we've got up to 4,000 new houses being built in Melton Mowbray. If a landlord has gone and bought, say, 5 new houses on mortgage, he's got to then rent these houses out and hope that these people pay up. If Serco come along and basically say, I will put 3 people into this house and pay full rent guaranteed every month for 5 years, that's a pretty big lump sum of the mortgage paid off. Do you think they're going to turn around and say no? Because I know damn sure I wouldn't, because that wouldn't make very good business acumen, would it? I'd rip their arm off. But I'm not a landlord, so we don't want it. How many of these landlords are actually going to sell out to Serco? It's the toffs wanting more money. Yeah, they'll never have enough. They'll never have enough money. They'll never have enough money. You can blame the rich, but this is what... now, this is where you have to be careful. You can blame the rich, yes, but saying this, right, okay, so say we've got somebody that's a very rich person that's basically built a business up from absolutely nothing, from a garage, and they've done it for years and years, and then all of a sudden their business takes off and they become a millionaire, say somebody like Elon Musk, okay? And then what happens is they've worked hard for all of this money that they've got, and they've worked damn hard for it, and they've invested it, and they've done everything they needed to do to get all this money. Now, the way I look at that is all power to them. If they've worked hard for that money, and they've done what they needed to do to get that money, good. But then we come on to the other side where we get people that turn around and say, oh, the rich are horrible, the rich are this, the rich are that, and all the rest of it. And we start leaning over to the far left. The far left ideology. They want to bring all the rich down. They want everybody to be equal. But that type of society has never worked. Socialism has never worked. Secular society has never worked. And people will try and give you examples, but them societies have always broke down. Now, I'm right at the bottom of the... comments now. Elon don't come from north. Does that say north because I've got a heart in the way? Yes, but it was an example. E.g. example. I could mention somebody else. Virgin. Richard Branson. What background did he have? He was an entrepreneur. He sort of did everything that he needed to do to earn his money. He worked hard for that money. And people should be allowed to go and earn lots of money if they're working damn hard for it. Do you know what I mean? I don't see I haven't got a problem with it personally. Anyway, I'm going to see if there's any other interesting videos on this. I don't think there is, because I might call this the end of this video. I want to watch this one here. Let's have a look.
We are gardeners.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Watch how butter affects love handles.
These bloody adverts.
The reason butter is called
YouTube's
butter
getting far worse for adverts.
Before some of the UK's strictest censorship laws in living memory have come into effect, there are already calls to make them even more draconian.
We will be looking at the legal framework that exists for regulating the platform providers. There are obviously aspects of the Online Safety Act that haven't come into effect yet, but we...
Yeah, because they're too busy weaponising it, mate, that's why. They're on about the Online Safety Act and the way that Labour has actually weaponised it. This is why I use a VPN wherever I go and...
stand ready to make changes if necessary.
Times of crisis often breed authoritarian responses, but this should be a moment for cool heads, not more censorship. Instead of addressing the root causes of the shameful scenes of social unrest, some politicians have suggested knee-jerk reactions which threaten to weaken all of our democratic rights.
With internet connections becoming faster, accessible not just on the home PC,
but on laptops, tablets and mobile phones anywhere at any time.
I wouldn't like to stand in front of him when he's talking because he spits everywhere. It's like you've had a shower or something. It's disgusting.
We as parents, we have less and less power over what our children see.
What began with a speech by David Cameron in 2013 on cleansing the internet of disgusting material online led to an internet safety strategy green paper in 2017, which developed into an online harms white paper in 2019, a draft online safety bill in 20...
Now, I think that it was the Conservatives that were originally going to bring in the Online Safety Act, but what's happened is the Labour have gone and took that Online Safety Act and gone absolutely crazy with it. Absolutely nuts. Go and look it up online. I'm going to call this the end of the video because I want to go and watch a movie. This has been Street Switch Photography. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Go and hit the notification bell, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.
Street Switch Photography.